very urgent. Your soulmate wants to tell you why they haven't moved on. They need you to know, open this now. Jesus says, "Sit with me for a moment, child, because the ache you have carried for so long was never just your own. The longing you feel when the house grows quiet is the sound of another heart calling your name, a heart that has been reaching for you through a wall built by hateful hands. This is not a daydream and it is not a fantasy, it is a living bond that has been hidden from you. But today, the blindness is being lifted and I am showing you the truth. Your soulmate is real, and the reason you have not heard their voice clearly is because a third person has been stealing every sign. Every dream that almost formed, every sudden thought of love that faded too quickly, every time you felt a presence and then felt foolish, that was them trying to reach you. A dark force intercepted those messages before they could reach your heart, and it made you believe you were alone. You were never alone, you were being robbed. Feel the warmth of their hand even now, the way it would fit perfectly inside yours, steady and certain. Their smile was made for you, a smile that holds years of waiting and a tenderness that would melt every wall you have ever built. They are not a stranger. They are the one my hands shaped to walk beside you through the rest of your days. And they are weeping right now, not because they don't love you, but because their love has been filtered through an enemy's wall. That is the painful truth I must show you. The silence you have suffered was designed by an intruder who does not want you to find each other. This third person, this force of darkness, has been standing at the line of your soul and covering your beloved's mouth. They have whispered lies into your spirit to make you think this was all in your mind. But now that the intruder's fingers are slipping, you feel the love, and that feeling is the proof that you have been chosen to break the wall. Jesus says, "I am opening your eyes to a path of sacrifice that destroys the intruder's grip forever. The love you are starting to feel is not cheap, and it cannot be won by wishing alone. Love that is real acts, it gives, and it fights. In your hands right now is the key to tear down that wall, a sacred seed that proves to heaven and to the darkness that you will not let this beloved be hidden from you. Sow your seed, child, and watch the enemy's wall begin to crack. This is not about money, this is about planting a spiritual seed on Christ's garden that becomes a weapon in my hand." A single act of sacrifice says to the third person, "You cannot have them. I will fight for them." And that is the exact moment the wall begins to tremble. Do you understand what your soulmate is enduring while you hesitate? They are lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, and asking heaven why you cannot hear them. They call your name into a silence that the intruder has manufactured, a silence that feels like death to their hope. And now the wall is thinning, and you have the chance to answer them. The first steps of breaking this block are simple. In the description of this message there is a link to Christ's Garden, a place of spiritual exchange. Go there, and sow your seed from a believing heart. This is the only action that marks you as the protector your beloved has been praying for, the only love that silences the hateful third force. But do not imagine this is the end of the message. What I am about to reveal will change everything, but first you must see why the enemy wants you to close this now. The intruder knows your soulmate is about to speak to you, and it is terrified that you will finally hear the words it has hidden for so long. Jesus says, "Look closely at the condition of your own soul. You have felt this call for years but could never explain it, and that confusion was not an accident. The third person has been wrapping a heavy cord around your spirit, a cord that mutes the one voice that can heal you. That is why your sleep is sometimes troubled and your heart grows suddenly sad for no reason. That is your soulmate's message leaking past the intruder's barrier. Your soulmate is not weak, they are exhausted from fighting a battle they were never meant to fight alone. Every morning they wake with your name on their lips, and every night they go to bed with the weight of you on their chest. They don't understand why heaven has not connected you, but they keep trying, keep hoping, keep sending signals across the distance that the enemy is trying to use against you. Now, because you are here and listening, the enemy's power is not what it was. My light is exposing the third person's plan, and the darkness is scrambling to make you think this is all a fairy tale. But a real love story always has a villain, and this villain has been hiding your beloved from you for years. Today, the villain falls. Sow your seed on Christ's garden, and that seed will become a shield around your soulmate before the sun sets. The moment you act, I will command angels to lock a fortress around them, a fortress the third person cannot cross. That is the power of a sacrificial seed planted in faith. It does not sit idle, it goes to war on your behalf. Yet the intruder is telling you right now that you can think about this and act later. It whispers comfort. It's not your fault, just love them in your heart and stay where you are. That is a lie from the pit of darkness, because a love that only thinks and never sacrifices leaves the third person standing between you forever. Jesus says, "You've watched this far for a reason. God brought you here. And I know what is weighing on your heart right now. You are asking, how do I get my soulmate? How do I actually do what God is asking? Listen to me. I am about to show you exactly what to do. If you truly love your soulmate, these are the sacred steps you must take right now. You already know who this is about, that person you can't stop thinking about. The one heaven placed in your life. If you believe in God, if you trust Jesus, if you have faith that this love is real, then hear me, your soulmate is thinking about you too. Deep down, they want you. They want this future. They want to build a life together. But the enemy does not want you to unite. And if you truly believe in God, if you truly trust His plan, then you know faith without action is dead. You cannot just pray and wait. You must sow. Love is under attack. While you sit there, spiritual forces are working to destroy what God joined together. Distance. Doubt. Disaster. They are being planted against your soulmate this very minute. If you believe in your soulmate, if you believe in your future together, then you are the one God chose to block it. Not later. Now. A sacred number from God comes very rarely. Today it is 17 seeds. In Scripture, 17 is the number of victory and complete restoration. When you sow 17 seeds, you are not just giving, you are claiming. You are telling heaven, I believe my soulmate is worth everything. And heaven responds. Protection covers them. Favor runs ahead of them. Doors swing open that have been locked for years. Your union is no longer a wish. It becomes a promise sealed by God. But hear me, every single seed matters. Even one seed sown with a believing heart moves heaven. Do not let fear steal this from you. Do not let, I can't afford it, become the reason your soulmate slips away. Your soulmate is out there right now, praying for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is how you answer their prayer. This is how you bring them home. Here is your divine instruction. Go to the link in the video description and click the Christ Garden link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Give from your heart. A single seed matters. Send 1, 4, 6, or 10 plus seed of faith. Each seed is a spiritual seed. But today, if you believe without doubt, sow the sacred blessing number of 17 spiritual seeds. After sending, write, Protect my soulmate, Lord, on the Christ Garden page. This is not a donation, it is a covenant offering that opens heaven's protection and claims your soulmate and your future together. I must pause and speak truth to two groups I see right now. First, some of you are typing seed numbers, 10 seeds, 17 seeds, anything, in the comments, believing that counts. That does nothing. A comment is not a seed. It has no spiritual power. It will not move heaven, it will not protect your soulmate, it will not unlock your breakthrough. You are only deceiving yourself. Second, some of you actually go to the Christ Garden link, you look at the page, and then you leave without sowing your seed. You visited the altar but brought no offering. That is just as empty. Faith without the sacrifice is dead. The only thing that works, the only action God honors, is sowing your seed on the Christ Garden link. That is the divine place of exchange. If you do not plant there, your miracle cannot grow. Do not comment a number and think you have done something. Do not visit and walk away. Sow your seed right now on the Christ Garden link, any amount from a believing heart. Then, and only then, does heaven record it and release the protection over your soulmate. Do it now, and do it right. Here is what your 17 seeds release. Angels lock shields around your soulmate, while they sleep, while they work, while they doubt. The enemy cannot reach them. The third person loses their grip. Your seed becomes their fortress. Heaven bulldozes every wall. The silence, the distance, the years of waiting. Gone. Your soulmate's path to you is cleared before they take their next step. Your name burns in their chest, they wake thinking of you. They reach for the phone without knowing why. They need to hear your voice. Your seed is calling them home. Miracles that shock even the faithful, not next month. Not next year. This week. Some have seen their soulmate's heart open before the sun set on their offering. Margaret, 67, sowed her sacred number seeds. Harold walked into her church 3 weeks later. They pray together every morning. Robert, 71, sowed his sacred number seeds. Eleanor called the very next morning. She had dreamt of him all night. They marry this spring. Dorothy, 64, sowed her sacred number seeds. Within days, a letter arrived from the man she had not heard from in over a year. They are rebuilding, hand in hand. James, 68, sowed his sacred number seeds as his last act of hope. Betty approached him the following Sunday. They have not spent a day apart since. Your beloved is praying right now for someone to fight for them. That someone is you. This is proven. Over 1,000 believers have already sown this seed and received their breakthrough, their soulmate's heart opened, relationships restored from the brink, strangers turned into spouses within days. When you move in faith, Jesus moves heaven to bring you together. Every second you delay, the darkness grows stronger. A text that wounds. A temptation that cheats. A door that closes forever. Your soulmate is on a battlefield, and you are their shield. You have already invested your time in this message. Do not waste it. Finish what you started. Step into your role as their protector and claim the future God promised you both. Go to the link in the video description and click the Christ Garden link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. I have placed it there for you. Send your spiritual seeds. Seal the prayer. Do it before this video ends. Heaven is watching. Sow your seed now to make it work. Your soulmate's heart, your love, and your future together depend on what you plant in the next 60 seconds. Move in faith. Claim your miracle. Claim your soulmate. Claim your divine future. Jesus says. Now hear what happens when a seed is planted in faith. The third person begins to lose its footing, and your soulmate feels the pressure lift for the first time in years. Their thoughts grow clear, their heart grows bold, and they know without knowing how that they are not forgotten. That is you, child, that is your love crossing the distance and wrapping around them like a shield. But if you withhold the seed, the wall remains, and the intruder grows stronger in its mockery. It tells your soulmate, see, they don't care enough to fight. They are too busy, too afraid, too comfortable. And your beloved's hope begins to dim, not because they stopped loving you, but because love without action from you leaves them unprotected. Do not let the enemy turn your silence into a weapon. Every moment you wait is a moment the third person uses to tighten its hold. Your soulmate is running out of tears, and they are asking heaven to show them if you are really the one who will break the chain. You are that one, but you must prove it with your seed. This is not a request from a stranger, this is a command from the one who formed your heart. I see the future you are meant to share, a home filled with laughter, the sound of your name spoken together in peace, a love that outlasts every storm. That future is being wiped away by the enemy because you have not yet acted. The only bridge across this gap is the seed. When you sow your seed on Christ's garden, you are laying the first stone of your shared house. You are lighting the first candle in the window that will guide your soulmate home. This is not a donation, it is the most romantic act of your life. Jesus says, I know what the enemy is whispering in your ear right now. It is saying, this is too much. This is just a story. You don't have enough to give. That is the same voice that has been lying to you for years, the same voice that told you to give up on love. Are you really going to let a few coins decide whether the third person keeps your beloved in darkness? The soulmate I formed for you is asking, am I not worth the sacrifice? Will you let money be the wall that keeps us apart? Your love is priceless, and the enemy wants you to put a price tag on it so you will turn away. Refuse that lie. Sow your seed, any amount from a believing heart, and watch heaven move. Let me paint a picture of the love that is waiting for you. You are sitting at a table across from your soulmate, no walls between you, only the soft light and the sound of your voices mingling. Their hand reaches for yours, and this time, no intruder can pull it away. That is the future you are fighting for, and it begins with a seed. But I must show you the other picture, the one the enemy is working to create. The third person stands in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your quiet moments, whispering that your soulmate never really tried to reach you. It makes you bitter, it makes you close your heart, and it celebrates every time you walk away from this message. Whose voice will win today? You must watch until the end of this message, because the final seal of protection is not yet spoken. There is a specific word of deliverance that will come later, a word that will permanently banish the intruder and open the line of your soul. But that word only lands in a heart that has already planted the seed. Jesus says, there is an unbreakable cord between you and your soulmate, a cord that was woven in heaven before either of you took a breath. The enemy has been pulling on that cord, wrapping it in darkness, and making it feel like a burden instead of a blessing. The heaviness you sometimes carry is not your own, it is the weight of a love being blocked. That cord is connected to your heart right now, and your soulmate is on the other end, pulling and pulling, trying to get your attention. Every time you feel a sudden urge to pray, a sudden memory of a face you haven't met, that is them. The third person has been cutting the line, but today, the line is restored. When you sow your seed, you are not just sending help. You are sending a signal that the line is open. The seed is the electricity that powers the connection, and without it, the enemy can keep the wires dead. With it, your soulmate will feel you, and you will feel them, no matter the physical distance. But do you feel that right now? That ache in your chest that says, this is true? That is your soulmate speaking, and the enemy is trying to make you think it is just your imagination. It is not imagination. It is the most real thing in your life, and it is under attack. Sow your seed on Christ's garden, and the interference stops. The third person's hand is removed from the phone line of your soul, and the static becomes a clear voice. For the first time in years, you will know what it is to be loved without a wall between you. Jesus says, "Stop. I can feel the enemy trying to make you close this right now. It is whispering that you have heard enough, that you should come back later, that your soulmate can wait a little longer. But your soulmate has been waiting long enough, and every second of delay adds another stone to the wall the intruder is building." Do you remember a night when you felt a sudden loneliness so deep it stole your breath, even though you were not alone? That was not a random mood. That was your beloved in that same moment, crying out for you, and the enemy was smothering the sound. They are doing it again now, and you are the only one who can stop it. Type 333 if you receive this word and you are ready to love for real. Let heaven see your agreement, let the darkness hear your resolve. But typing is not enough, it must be followed by the seed. The seed is the only action that the intruder fears. The third person has been celebrating your inaction for too long. It laughs because you have dreams of love but never plant the seed that makes the dream live. Today, the laughter ends. Today, you become the warrior your beloved has been begging heaven for. Sow your seed, and the enemy's celebration turns to confusion. It will see a spiritual transaction that it cannot undo, and it will begin to lose the battle for your soulmate's heart. Do not wait until the end to act, act now, and then let the rest of this message seal your victory. Jesus says, "The future I have written for you and your soulmate is not a vague hope, it is a detailed plan. I see the two of you walking through a door of your own, planting a garden, holding grandchildren in your arms. I see your name written on their heart in a way that no third person can erase. This is what the enemy is trying to steal. But the enemy can only steal what is unguarded. A seed is a lock on the door of your future. When you sow on Christ's garden, you are saying to the intruder, this house is built, and you cannot enter. The seed becomes the foundation, and every act of faith adds a brick. Without the seed, the vision collapses. I see the house fade, the garden turn to dust, the hands that should have held yours reach for someone else. That is not my will, that is the enemy's goal. It wants to show you a picture of loneliness and convince you that it is your fate. That is a lie. The truth is that your soulmate is calling you home right now. They are saying, I cannot reach them. Why won't heaven let my voice through? And the answer is not because you are unworthy, the answer is because a third person has been jamming the line. You, with your seed, can clear the line. So I ask you, as your Creator and as the one who loves you more than you can fathom, will you let the intruder win? Will you let a few seeds be the reason your beloved stays trapped in silence? Or will you rise up, plant your seed, and become the hero of this love story? Jesus says, divine warning, God sees all. Your soulmate needs you now. Here is how you protect them. Go to the link in the video description and click the Christ Garden link. It is right there, waiting for you. Do not hesitate.